So I built a video editing engine inside of Claude Code, and it actually works. It edited this video, and I'm going to show you how I did it. My name's John. I run a YouTube agency, and I edit a lot of videos. So this isn't a theory. I'm talking you through what I'm actually using in my business right now. And listen, I know there's a ton of AI video editors out there. They all kind of suck, and also they're all overpriced, and they're all going to have to get more and more expensive. So here's the problem with video editing. Like, it takes all day, right? Like, you might have an editor and you give them your video at 9 a.m. on Monday. You might not have your finished video until like Thursday. And the guys that were hammering it, like the daily vloggers like Casey Neistat, they were working all day and they were filming and editing and filming and editing and burning themselves out and just barely managing to get edits done on the day. So AI video editing sounds like a great solution, but here's the problem. Like, if you are a trash editor or you use trash software, you're going to get trash edits, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen. So that's why we still need like an experienced video editor in the loop working with these tools. You can't just set it and forget it. You need to know what you want from your videos, and you need to be in the review process as the agent edits. Otherwise, you're just amplifying rubbish, right? Okay, so let's move on to how it actually works. So this thing starts where it naturally should. You need to have a good idea, first of all. So you're going to film a good video, one that's high value, one that teaches your audience something or is super entertaining. Once you've done that, you've got your video, you move on to the structured edit. That's step one, okay? So what is a structured edit? What I call a structured edit is like, you've taken all the bits, you've put them all together, and you're ready to hand it off like a finished kind of like storyboard, kind of rough draft. You're ready to hand that off to a senior editor who might do painting and B-roll and grading and graphics and sound effects and get that all ready to go. So right now we're just thinking about the structured edit or the wireframe. Some people call it a wireframe. So step one, treat the audio. We use a tool called Auphonic for that. So it looks at the video that you recorded and it sends it off to Auphonic with the API, and it comes back with a synced up, audio graded, audio mastered video, right? Cool. While it's doing that, it also transcribes the video and starts learning about what the video is about. It uses the Grok and the Google search APIs to kind of learn more about the subject so that it's like properly actually clued up. And because it's clued up and it knows the story and it reads the transcript, it knows what to cut out. If I make a mistake, it cuts that out. If I do a retake, it doesn't put both takes in, it uses the best take, and it makes that decision on its own. And that's something, by the way, that you have to constantly feed back with. So you always are letting the agent learn. And as you build these skills, you're making sure you tell it that you want it to learn from feedback. Otherwise it won't, right? Because it's just a dumb computer at the end of the day. You have to make it great, okay? Layer 3, review. So it's going to come back with its first attempt at a structured edit. And actually, during that process, you didn't have to do anything. You just hit go and say, look, tell me when you've got a structured edit. It comes back. What I do is I actually just stick that structured edit on a review system like Frame.io or something like that. And I just watch it and review it like I normally would if a human edited it. I put in the changes and then I export the changes into a text document with time codes. And then I just give the AI that document. So I just review it like a human would review it, right? Now it's going to go away and it's going to try again. It's going to give you a version 2, right? And that might take another half an hour. And then you review it again. So you've probably done 15, 20 minutes of work at this point, right? And by the way, while it's off making its structured edit, you can be working on something else. You could be recording another video. You could be answering emails, chasing invoices. You could be doing something completely different. Now, once you've got a structured edit, you're going to use something called HyperFrames by HeyGen, right? And what that does is motion graphics and B-roll and stuff like that. So I use 2 different tools for this. I've got HeyGen and HyperFrames, and that does motion graphics, right? And I've got ComfyUI, which does image generation and AI video generation and AI sounds and all that kind of stuff. And I've actually got separate skills and agents for both of these that I teach about my branding, my client's branding, images, references, logos. I give it all that information and I say, this is what I want the motion graphics to look like for this particular client or for me. And it's going to, again, read the structured edit, right? It's going to transcribe it again, read it, and it's going to try and make the most tasteful, like motion graphics ideas and B-roll ideas that it can. And it comes back to me, if I've got a 10-minute video, it's probably going to come back to me with like 10 to 12 different ideas for a motion graphic. And I'm going to review those. and I'm going to be like, yeah, this one's good, this one sucks, this one sounds more like it should be like a full screen motion graphic with a graph and a line or something like that. So I give it some feedback on that, and I hit go again, and off it goes to make the motion graphics. And again, it's going to come back maybe an hour later, maybe half an hour later, with another version. This time it's going to have motion graphics, and we're going to go through that system again, right? So we're just going to review it again. It's probably going to come back with some bad motion graphics to begin with, especially if you haven't given it taste or brand kit. You're just going to review it same way, put it on Frame.io, write the changes in, attach the time codes, export it, give it the review, and it's going to go away and do it again, right? Now, layer 6, sound effects, I'm going to be totally honest, I haven't quite perfected that yet. So we're still kind of doing that more manually. That's why there's no sound effects in this video. Or if I perfected it before I put this out, then there is sound effects in this video. But most likely, I'll link the sound effects video here when it's done. So if you want to do the HeyGen, HyperFrames sound effects, or whatever tool I end up using, there'll be a button, okay? And again, we're going to review it one last time. Now, I want to make this really clear. I want to reaffirm this point. While it's editing, you're working on something else. When it asks for a review, you spend 10 minutes reviewing it. It's that easy, right? And you're just going to repeat that process. Now you've gone through layers 1 all the way through to 6. You're going to repeat that process until you have a final video. And then, I guess, you're done. And at any point, you can actually jump in and edit this yourself manually. So let's say you just want the structured edit, and you want a human editor with more skill and more taste because you've got someone amazing who does motion graphics. You want them to do the rest. Well, guess what? You're still going to save half a day or even a full day by having an AI do the structured edit and then handing it off to someone else for motion graphics, right? Now, we've covered Auphonic. That was a great tool. We've covered ComfyUI. That's a great tool for video generation. HyperFrames for motion graphics. Is there any other tools I use? Yes. Zernio. Okay, so once I've finished a video, I use Zernio. Zernio is actually free. It's got 2 free accounts for anyone and API access. So I've got a Zernio social media scheduling tool, and I've got a YouTube strategy skill. So I give the final transcript over to my YouTube strategy skill for titling, tagging, description, and I also have a YouTube thumbnail engine. I give the transcript to that to do the thumbnail, and then it all comes back to my social media skill. We've got the packaging, we've got the thumbnail, we've got the video, we've got the social media access, and it puts it all in drafts, right? So approved videos automatically end up in drafts with a title, a description, and a thumbnail. And if any of it I'm unhappy with, I just change with human taste, right? But I would rather have something that's like 90% finished and ready to post that I can then tinker with my human strategy and my human brain to make better than for like someone to be like, here's the video link, see ya. And then like what happens next, right? So that's the difference, is like getting every stage further along faster for less money and making sure there's always a human, either you, your YouTube strategist, your social media strategist, your editor, there's always a human in the loop, right? To make sure this stuff is good. You're saving time, you're saving costs, but you're powering yourself with a human strategy brain. AI should not replace people in your company. It should empower them. Like if someone is terrible at YouTube, they're going to be terrible at YouTube with AI. And if you don't have anyone that's good at YouTube in your company, an AI bot is not going to make you automatically good at YouTube. Sorry. Okay, so summary. This is a great leveler right now. It's going to give you extra powers that bigger companies used to have because they had more money. Right now, AI is kind of putting everyone on the same level. It's not going to last forever. The cost of AI will rise. So you need to sort things out before that happens, right? So whatever you do, don't just sit back, right? Just get these skills in place, get up to speed, get working, get the clients onboarded. And then once the AI prices go up, man, a lot of these like wrapper businesses, like, thumbnail generation businesses that are running off the API of OpenAI, and then OpenAI puts their costs up, a lot of those businesses, they're going to have to double or triple their costs to stay in business, right? So you want to have stuff locked down locally to avoid, that affecting you too hard. It's going to affect you, but if this video was useful, then there is a mailing list below. Jump on the mailing list. There is a website below. And if you need some help with YouTube or video editing or AI strategy, get in touch, and I will see you in the next one.